in which they're receiving submissions on the consideration of the budget performance of the 2024 financial year and the first quarter of 2025. And the first witness to make an appearance is Southern Province. Keep watching Parliament Television, the only station that brings Parliament closer to you.
An issue, Secretary.
What do the others think?
I think that's okay. We can have somebody from ICT to be part of Secretariat, even though I was going to make a proposal that maybe we come up with a technical team.
Introduce yourself as well.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair, and good morning to the entourage from Southern Province. I'm Engineer Oliver Amutike, Member of Parliament for the good people of Mongo Central, the home of the Pomboka ceremony in Barosland. I'm joining you from Vienna this morning. Coincidentally, I'm with your Minister Nanjua is here with me this morning. Thank you. But he's not listening to our meeting. He's inside the conference hall. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable.
My name is David Mabumba, MP from Mwanza constituency.
Members of staff.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, PS and your team. My name is Alan Eluenje from the Parliamentary Budget Office.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, honorable members, and good morning, PS and your team. My name is Wiza Zimba from the Parliamentary Budget Office.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, PS and your team. My name is Kwani Tokpiali from the Parliamentary Budget Office.
Thank you, honorable Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, PS and your team. My name is Godfrey Simonda from the Parliamentary Budget Office.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Welcome, Southern Province. My name is Joseph Jeffan Mwansa from the Parliamentary Budget Office, also part of the Secretariat.
Thank you so much. PS, we have received your report, and I think we'll allow you, say, 30 minutes, if you need all of it, to go through your report, and thereafter, members of Parliament will be allowed to ask questions and points of clarification. You can get started when you are ready.
Allow me to recognize the chair, members of the committee, staff from Parliamentary Budget Office. This is a presentation on budget performance review for the 2024 financial year and first quarter of 2025. This memorandum provides a review of the Southern Provincial Administration Head 98 budget performance for the first quarters of the years 2024 and 2025. During the period under review, Treasury released a total of 41.2 million in 2024 against a total of 4 million in 2025, representing 27% and 3% releases of the total annual budgetary allocation, respectively. Expenditure by economic classification. In 2024, we received, in 2024, 103,501,584 kwacha was approved. 28,506,221 13 was released, representing 28% of the approved amount. Actual expenditure was 28,506,036 kwacha, representing an absorption rate of 100%. That's personal emoluments. On goods and services, 44,851,053 kwacha was approved. 12,715,330 kwacha was released, representing 28% of the approved amount. 484,000 kwacha, 356 kwacha was spent, representing 4%. On non-financial assets, 7,000 kwacha, 7,000 kwacha. This is 2,007,000. 576,000 kwacha was approved. Releases was 0, and representing a total approved budget of 150,360,213 kwacha, and released was 41,221,554 kwacha, representing an approved amount of 27%, and actual expenditure was 28,990,392,000 kwacha, with an absorption rate of 70%. In 2025, first quarter, personal emoluments approved is 117,699,979 kwacha, released 0. Goods and services approved was 31,538,213 kwacha, released 3,600,949 kwacha, representing 11% of the approved amount. Expenditure was 1,804,305 kwacha, representing an absorption rate of 50%. Non-financial assets approved is 4,371,314,000, released 309,051 kwacha, representing 9% of the approved amount, and expenditure is 0. Total for 2025 is 153,609,506 kwacha. Released so far 4 million, representing 3% of the approved amount, and expenditure is 1,804,305 kwacha, representing an absorption rate of 45%. Reasons for variance between 2024 and 2025. In 2025, personal emolument release and expenditure figures were not uploaded in the IFMIS by the Means of Finance and National Planning during the period under review. However, Means of Finance and National Planning was engaged, and the personal emolument releases and expenditure figures will reflect in the second quarter financial report. The 2024 figure for goods and services was inclusive of the 10 million that was transferred to Batoka Golden Valley Agricultural Research Trust for implementation of a livestock breeding program. The expenditure of this amount was only reported in the subsequent quarters. The low absorption rate for both periods was due to the funds being released in the middle and towards the end of the quarter, resulting in expenditure being incurred and reported in the subsequent quarter. Analysis of 2025 funding profile against funds. In January, we had profiled for 5,443,503 kwacha. Released was 2.5 million, with a variance of 2,953,583 kwacha for Tiningwe. In February, we had profiled for 4,298,596 kwacha 17 Ingwe. Released 1.5 million with a variance of 2,798,596 kwacha, 17 ngwe. In March, we had profiled for 11,399,937 kwacha, 43 ngwe. Released 3.5 million, giving us a variance of 7,899,937 kwacha, 43 ngwe. Total, we had profiled for 21,152,116 kwacha, 64 ngwe, and released 7,500,000, giving us a variance of 13,652,116 kwacha, 74 ngwe. Quarter 1, 2025 budget performance by program and economic classification. Program, Community Development and Social Services. On economic classification, personal emolument, we had 33,915,830 kwacha. No releases were done in the first quarter. On use of goods and services, we had 1,824,115,339, 540,000 was released, representing 19% of the budgetary allocation. On non-financial assets, budgetary allocation is 22,001 kwacha. Amount released 22,001 kwacha. Budgetary allocation representation is 100%, and total for community development and social services was 35,761,946. Amount released is 361,541 kwacha, representing 1% of the budgetary allocation. Expenditure was total 211,474 kwacha, 80 ngwe, representing 58%. On program natural resources management, economic classification, economic personal emolument again, the budget was 19,160,733. No releases were made. On use of goods and services, budget allocation was 2,116,136 kwacha. 90,000 was released, representing a 4% of the budgetary allocation. On non-financial services, for non-financial assets, 164,500 kwacha was budgeted for. So far released is 164,500 kwacha, representing 100%. On the expenditure, on use of goods and services, 19,772, 69 ngwe, representing 22% was spent. So total for natural resource management on budgetary allocation is 21,441,369 kwacha. Amount released total 254,500,000 kwacha, representing 1% of the budget allocation, and expended so far is 19,772, 69 ngwe, representing 8%. On economic development program, economic development, personal emoluments, no releases. Use of goods and services, 3,804,574 kwacha was budgeted for. Release is 341,000, representing 9% of the budgetary allocation. Non-financial assets, 107,050 kwacha was budgeted for. Released is 107,050 kwacha, representing 100%. On expenditure, use of goods and services, 95,646, 31 ngwe has been spent, representing 28%. On non-financial assets, no expenditure. Program, local government services, economic classification, personal emoluments, no releases. On use of goods and services, 779,582 was budgeted for. 53,723 has been released, representing 7%. Total on local government services, 2,938,419 was budgeted for. 53,723 has been released, representing 2%. On expenditure, on goods and services, 14,698 was done, representing 27%. Program, management and support, personal emoluments, 45 million 71,549 kwacha was budgeted for. There were no releases. Use of goods and services, 22,933 kwacha, 933. 806 kwacha was budgeted for. 2,776,686 kwacha was released, representing 12%. Non-financial assets, 4,077,763 kwacha was budgeted for. 105,500 kwacha was released, representing 3%. Total budgeted for on management and support services was 72,083,118 kwacha, and 2,882,186 kwacha has been released, representing a budget allocation of 4%. On expenditure, use of goods and services on management and support services, 1,462,712 57 ingwe was spent, representing 53%. Grant total for the province on budgetary allocation is 109,506 kwacha, and released is 4 million, representing 3% budgetary allocation, and expenditure is 1,804,305 kwacha 9 ingwe, representing a 45% release. Quarter 1, 2025 output performance by program. Community development and social services. Budgetary allocation 1,846,116 kwacha, releases 361, 541 kwacha, expenditure 211,474 kwacha, 18 ngwe, expected output based on the released funds. Number one, monitoring of 2 child care facilities. Target 2 child care facilities were monitored. Output achieved. We are on, the target has been achieved. Toy number 2, 5 districts monitored for women empowerment programs. Target we set to monitor 5. Output we did 6, above target due to additional support from cooperating partners. We also intended to monitor 4 community development skills training centers, and they were monitored. We are on target. 5 districts monitored for youth empowerment. 5 districts were monitored. Target set was to monitor 5 districts. We monitored 3. Target not achieved due to insufficient funding. 3 youth week commemoration events held. Target was to hold 3 youth week commemoration events. All the 3 were done. We are on target. 15 districts monitored for sporting activities. Our target was to monitor all the 15 districts for sporting activities. 5 have been monitored so far. Again, this is due to insufficient funding. 10 street children reintegrated with their families. Our target was to ensure that 10 street children are reintegrated with their families. We reintegrated 13, above target. This is because the children are showing interest to go back to their families. I think this is due to good counseling that is being given. 3 children protection climate committees monitored. 3 child protection committees were monitored. Again, here we are below target due to insufficient funding. 1 chiefdom profiled. 1 chiefdom profiled. We have managed to do the chiefdom profiling for the chiefdom targeted. 10 learning institutions sensitized on national values and principles. 10 learning institutions sensitized on national values and principles. Output, we managed to sensitize 8. Again, this was due to delay funding. It will spill in the next quarter. Presidential directives on national values and principles disseminated to 5 districts. Target was to disseminate to 5 districts. 5 districts were reached. We are on target. Natural resource management budget was 2,280,636. Release, we have received 254,500 kwacha. We have expended 19,772.69. The toys, or expected output based on the funds. Number 1, 25,000 seedlings raised for tree nursery establishment. We have raised so far 39,637, above target due to support from cooperative partners. 6 districts covered for collection of accountable documents. 6 districts have been covered. We are on target. 2 automatic weather stations installed. We installed 3. We are above target due to support from partners. Daily weather forecast disseminated 181. and 181 daily weather forecasts were disseminated. We are on target. 48 weekly weather forecasts disseminated. 48 weekly weather forecasts were disseminated. We are on target. Economic development budgeted for is 3,991,624 kwacha. Released so far is 448,050 kwacha. And the toys, 100 plots demarcated in Chifulo. 100 plots demarcated in Chifulo. We are on target. International Labour Day commemorated. One Labour Day was commemorated. We are on target. 200 industries and institutions inspected. We inspected 183. Target not achieved due to insufficient funding. 4 districts sensitized on Zoomas. 4 districts. Target was to sensitize 4 districts. We have not yet sensitized due to the fact we have not received the funding for this activity. Annual Law Conference attended. The conference was attended. Target was achieved. On local government services, budgeted for is 779,582 kwacha. Released 53,723. Expenditure 14,698 kwacha 72 ngwe. We were to implement 13 devolved functions in the local authorities. 13 devolved functions in local authorities have been implemented. Target achieved. Management and support services 27,083,118. Released 2,882,186 kwacha. Spent 1,462,712 kwacha 57 ingwe. Quarterly Provincial Development Coordinating Committee. The toys were implementation of 13. No, this one I've done. I think it's quarterly Provincial Development Coordinating Committee meetings, PDCC meetings. We were to do 1 Provincial Development Coordinating Committee meeting, but we did 2 because the other one was a special PDCC. Then we also had to do 1 provincial procurement plan. The provincial procurement plan was produced. We are on target. On challenges in budget implementation, incomplete funding against approved funding profiles has hampered the implementation of planned programs requiring profiling of the budget according to releases and prioritization of activities. So from the activities that we have listed to do, then it means we will have to choose which must be done according to the resources that have been made available. Projected fiscal risks is a reduced budgetary support. We recommend that full funding according to the budget that was approved be done so that we can do the activities that we had planned for this year. Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much, PS, for your presentation. This moment, I'll allow members of parliament, if at all, they would like to ask any questions or points of clarification. I see one hand, Honorable Simunji.
Thank you, Chair. PS, when I look at your report, I'm getting worried. Not that because you're not performing, no, I'm looking at it on the budgetary releases by the government or Ministry of Finance. What your profiles are quite high, but what we are being given is, I would say, less than 50% of the quota. How are you operating? Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Mavumba.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, for me, I just want PS maybe to, I know in their notes on page 1, that is to do with personal emoluments, because in many of the various programs, they are indicating amount not released. Now, does it mean the workers in those particular programs were not paid, or what it is? Because if the reasoning was that it was not uploaded by IFMIS, the best way would have been to indicate that the amount was released, but where you would just say nothing, I think for me it's very hard to understand, and probably maybe we need some explanation from PS what this entails, whether the money was not released, and consequently where the employees in those particular programs not paid their respective emoluments. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. And maybe in addition to, unless Mr. Mrebo, you have a question? Okay. Maybe in addition to what Honorable Simunji mentioned, in terms of the releases, I just wanted to also find out, is this what the trend has been over the years, or maybe it's particularly just for the 2024, 2025, in terms of the poor releases? Thank you so much. You can address those questions, PS.
Thank you, Chair. To address the first intervention, what we are doing, like I indicated in my submission, is that we are reprioritizing the activities depending on the resources that have been released. Usually, what we have noted is that in the first quarter, funding is very poor, but as we move into the second quarter, it improves, and we cover up for the toys that would not have been done in the first quarter. But this is a concern, because then it affects the flow of operation. So we are hoping, as we engage Ministry of Finance, this will continue improving. On personal emoluments, as I indicated in my submission, the figures were not uploaded on the IFMIS by the Ministry of Finance. However, we engaged, and they were uploaded, and they will appear in the next quarter. The officers are being paid. Director Finance, you comment on that. Then on the trends of releases, we have seen this to be significant from last year and this year. The past 2 years, I think we had 100% and on time releases. Maybe before I submit, Chair, I allow the Director of Finance to comment on what I've requested.
Sure.
Thank you, Chair. I'll comment on the PE's releases. Payroll is centrally managed by Treasury at Ministry of Finance and Cabinet Office. So our role there is just to put people on the payroll, then also put allowances if somebody is entitled to allowances and all those things. Then that information is submitted to Treasury. So the money for the salaries doesn't move to our system. It's controlled at the Cabinet Office. So when they pay from Cabinet Office, it's not like the way this the RDC's money that is sent to our province. No, for salaries the money is not sent. So what they do is, after they've paid the salaries, that is when the actual amounts that are paid is posted into our system to be accounted for now under our office. So It's not that it was not funded, people were paid, then it's only uploaded in the system once the salaries are cleared to all the workers. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Murebwa.
Honorable Chair, I wish to thank you for the opportunity to ask a question. PS, I wish to concur with what my colleagues rather earlier asked. I was actually sympathizing with you looking at the figures, the budget for this and what you are given actually in most cases is not even 30% of what you would have requested. Now, I would like to find out, just to remind you, you have the immunity right now, but I'm looking at competing, what may seem to be competing needs from the administration standpoint. We have, what do you call this? There is a social cash transfer. What other? There is cash for work. What's the other cash thing? All I'm trying to say is you seem to be struggling with your daily work or your provincial work. When we have this other cash that seem to be directed elsewhere, where we are also again limping in terms of meeting our obligations, what would be your opinion in terms of having all this social cash transfer, cash for work, what? If this money was channeled into running your province and any other province anyway, do you think this would help instead of us spreading our wings all over and still end up not fulfilling our obligations fully? Do you think it would help us if we put our monies in one place and work effectively? Do you think it would be wise to do that, or we continue with the system as it is? I think.
Honorable Amtike, do you have a question? Is muted. Okay, we take it you don't have. PS, before you can answer the question from Honorable Mureb, I'm looking at the programs that you have, and then I'm trying to relate some of these programs to the departments that are found in provincial administration. And I don't know. I wanted to find out if you have the Department of Mines at your provincial administration, and if you do, where do they fall in terms of the work that they are doing here? Thank you. You can address those two.
Thank you, Chair. To address the question on mobilizing resources into one basket in the province for easy operation, in reference to the current programs that are running, like social cash transfer, cash for work, my opinion, government is currently decentralizing and devolving functions. And usually when they allocate resources, these are allocated to a district, like for example, cash for work. They are allocated to a district managed by the local authority, which takes the resources to the ward That's the lowest level of that's the lowest level of governance in terms of structure, ward, constituency, district, then province. So this panel is coming in the province, going to the wards, specific people. So in terms of distribution of resources, every citizen has the opportunity to be engaged, to participate in national affairs. The same thing with social cash transfer. It's looking at the vulnerables at the grassroots. So when these are done, they are done under the umbrella of Ministry of Community Development and Social Services, which has representation at the province. So these are funded directly from the ministry into the districts, and then the district go and identify people in the various wards who are put on that program. Our officers at provincial administration are involved in this program to provide supervision and coordination. So even if we got the money to come to provincial administration, it will still have to go to the beneficiaries, meaning that maybe we might just lengthen the process. The way it is, this is money that goes to direct to citizens in order to participate. But the programs at provincial administrations are programs that are meant to ensure that these programs that government has put in place are running effectively and citizens are benefiting. And so you find that the money will budget for example, let me give another example under means of green economy and environment. We realize that there's so much rampant cutting of trees in the province. To stop that, we need to do what they call patrols. Then I'll budget to buy a truck so that I can complement to what the ministry itself is trying to achieve, an environment which is sustainable, an environment which improves our natural habitat. So if I budget, I'm simply trying to come in as a province to ensure that what the ministry wants at national level is achieved. But then because of competing needs, I may not get a truck because maybe it's felt that at that particular time, maybe just an example, we had a drought. Most of the money should go towards cash for work so that people can buy maize. So it's these, I think, competing priorities that have led to this. Like I said, in the first 2 years, I think we had consistent funding. But then we had this drought, which I think, disturbed most of what we have been doing. So with the, I think, current devolution and decentralization, we would recommend that maybe provinces are connected more to line ministries so that we understand exactly what the line ministries have planned for, what they want to do, so that even when we align our resources, we know what is coming from partners, we know what is coming from line ministries, and we are able to work in such a manner that when we prioritize, we all agree that this is priority. I think that is what I would give on the first question. Then there are certain, on the second question asked by the chair, there are certain ministries, chair, that are in the province but are supported by their ministry headquarters. And we also look at where we can support them as a province just to close some gaps, like I gave, the example I gave under means of green economy and environment, that we have seen rampant cutting of trees. And what is leading to that is that there are no patrols. So people take it that it's all for all. Then as a province, I'll budget that I want a truck to address this specific problem that is in the province. But the line ministries continue supporting the departments. And so it's the same with mines. In the mines, the example I'll give that maybe their toy under provincial administration was scheduled for second or third quarter. And in this case, maybe we would have identified that there is so much illegal mining happening everywhere. And as a province, we would want to engage the chiefs to talk to the subjects that form cooperatives so that these cooperatives can now apply for artisanal, and the artisanals can be allowed to mine and work with the existing off-takers. So that is how we operate. But sometimes if, for example, the releases are not done at that particular time, then it means we cannot fill in that gap and we cannot coordinate government activities in the province. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Yes, okay.
Thank you, Chair. PS, I think maybe I didn't ask my question properly, but let me break it down this way. I'll give an example of a man who is so ambitious, wanting to put up infrastructure. He goes in this district, finds a plot, digs a foundation, builds up to slab level, goes elsewhere, tries to do something, does the same thing. At the end of the day, this man will not have a structure that he can live in. I'm saying this because almost every province, I think you are the first province to come here. I know we'll find all these kind of things, whoever will come here, and we've seen this with the other projects that we've had to deal with. You find that you target 80 projects and you only do 15. My point is, why not focus your resources into one thing that you know, once I start this, once I start building this structure, I'll bring it to accomplishment. We have so many. There is another cache I've forgotten, but we have so many of these that are going. Why can't these resources be put in one place so that when you want to run your programs in your province, you can run them efficiently to fruition? That is my point.
Maybe before you address that question, or just clarification, Honorable Jamba Machila, if you have a question, and Honorable Mumba, this is the time.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I have challenges with network here, but my concern is just to find out whether the province has had engagements with Ministry of Finance to try and push for the releases to make a bit more economic sense for them to respond to the challenges in the province. So maybe the PS could shed more light in terms of how often they have engaged the ministry, considering that the country has got a host of priorities. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Honorable Jamba. Okay, PS, you're going to attend to those two.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to agree that a plan for a province that identifies priorities and ticks them one by one and puts all the efforts and resources to make sure that there are tangible things happening is the best way to go. We have also proposed, you may wish to know, Chair, that we have proposed to the National Development Coordinating Committees that when government is responding to the issues of development, let them be region-based. Let the province understand what each sector wants to do so that we can pick now the different pieces, put them together, and come up with real development. And I'm very hopeful that the National Development Committee, which is chaired by the Minister of Finance, is looking into that proposal seriously. We think, because when you look at provinces in Zambia, each province has unique endowments. And so, if we are to move development, my opinion, and I'm happy that I'm protected under CAP 12, my opinion is that if we followed that path, we'll move faster. But I think we are coming from a background where development was uncoordinated. And so we hope with this devolution and then strengthening the provincial administration to coordinate development, and obviously budgets that come to the provinces would do us more good. I do agree. Then I think the other question was how often do we engage Minister of Finance? I want to report that Minister of Finance is in all the provinces, and we have directors of finance in the provinces who are engaging the headquarters almost on a daily basis. And this is how come I'm aware that usually in the first quarter, the incomes are a bit slow. But as we improve in generating, we see the figures going up. You actually find that most of the activities that we should have done in the first quarter are done mostly second, third, as we go towards the end of the year. So yes, we are constantly engaging with Minister of Finance, and they are constantly updating us on the availability of resources in the Treasury. I submit, Chair.
Chair.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Honorable Mumba.
Chair, just a quick follow-up. Thank you, PS. And Honorable Anton Mumba is my name. Sorry, Chairperson, I didn't even greet you. Good morning, and good morning to colleagues, members of Parliament. I'm the MP for Kantanshi. Now, you earlier, PS, was just telling us of the coordination which will allow us to have growth. Now, already you are saying those releases, the way they will be coming out, will spark growth. How can an uncoordinated way of release make our economy get better? And then secondly, you are aware that the Ministry of Finance has a tendency of giving you a lot of money at the end of the year, which you fail to spend. And then when you are appearing before public accounts, which I was privileged to serve for 5 years, you will now be responding as though you didn't spend the money. So don't you think you're contradicting yourself? Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Mumba. PS, you can attend to that.
Thank you, Chair. I think my submission, Chair, is that as regions, we have submitted to the National Development Coordinating Committee to strengthen the provinces by ensuring that the different line ministries support the provinces by showing them the programs and sharing programs that are meant for that specific budget year, so that as provinces will be aware, for example, that Ministry of Science and Technology are building a training center in this town. So there is no need for Ministry of Community Development and Social Services to build a skills center in the same area. Now, what would happen is that we would encourage, for example, Minister of Community Development and Social Services to buy furniture if what science and technology is building has no furniture. That is the coordination I'm saying we would want to see. Currently, I think, Chair, you agree with me that Minister of Science and Technology will plan, Minister of Community Development will also plan, but then the province which is supposed to coordinate that activity or that toy or that task in the province will just be receiving. But if in the planning phase we are all aware that this is what we want to do, then it's easy as a province to bring the different ministries or sectors or departments together, because ours is to coordinate government programs. We'll be able to bring them together and say, don't duplicate, like the honorable member said, don't duplicate this, because we are already doing this. So what we could do is, instead of doing the foundation on both ministries, let this ministry not build, let them supply infrastructure, so that within the shortest possible time, that project will be done and be of use. And in terms of late releases, and yes, those are issues that we have submitted, that these are some of the challenges that we have. But what we are saying going forward, we are submitting also as a region, because every day we have to keep on improving. Yes, we know that it was like this, but currently we are seeing some of the suggestions that are being brought forward being implemented. So maybe I may not have understood very well the question, but the issue of there's a term that was used, disagreeing with myself, I don't see it. All we are saying is, as provinces, our job is to coordinate government development in the regions. And we look forward to a time when all the ministries can give us their plans, their budgets, and we check who is doing what within the province. How can this one ride on this one, so that we can enhance or accelerate development? Chair, I submit.
Thank you. Thank you. What time is not with us? Next, it is it a follow-up question or is it a complete? Okay.
There's an intruder here.
That will be the last question.
Chairman, thank you so much for the opportunity. Chair, listening from what PS is saying, I get 2 points. I get to.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
I get two important things from what he has submitted. Number one is alluding to the fact of the provinces coordinating with the line ministries. Then the other issue that he alluded to is the issue that they have written to the Minister of Finance, I don't know, as the chairperson for the
National Development Coordinator, we have submitted in our NDCC meetings.
Yeah. So now, Chair, I look at two things, because when you look at our developmental model, the current one is where the provinces are coordinating with the line ministries. But in his, he has alluded to the fact that each province has its own endowments, and which is very correct. So now, PS, given these two scenarios that we have given, in your view, which one of the developmental model would work better for you? Because you are the people on the ground. Is it where you coordinate with the line ministries, or is where at the apex of devolution, the resources are allocated to the provinces, so that maybe probably the line ministries just remain policy makers and maybe supervision of what is happening in the provinces? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. You can address that question.
Honorable, what we would prefer is what you have said, that the provinces are allocated resources and they manage their regions, and the ministries remain to provide policy and guidance.
Thank you so much, PS, for appearing. I think you will end here. And in so doing, the capture that was conferred upon you is also remote. You can enjoy immunity from Southern Province. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Chair.
You can enjoy.
Good morning and thank you for still being with us on Parliament Television. That was Southern Province that has just finished making its submission before the Planning and Budgeting Committee, and that's on the consideration of the budget performance of the 2024 financial year and the first quarter of 2025. Still to make an appearance before the Planning and Budgeting Committee is Northern Province. Keep watching Parliament Television, the only station that brings Parliament closer to you. Northern Province. Keep watching.
Zambia joins the rest of the world to celebrate